So a nail-biting fixture between England and Samoa has come to a close. And as you can see, England winning the game 18 points to 17. But was it in a controversial manner? We'll get into it throughout this review. But in this review, of course, we will be looking through at some of the positives of the game as well. The key players for their two sides, few of the statistics that happened in the game. But it's one of those matches that unfortunately does seem to be shadowed with a little bit of inconsistencies. But we will jump straight into the try scorer. So the first try of the match was scored by England's Ollie Chisholm in the 9th minute of the contest. A good run down the wing, set up by Tuolangi, who is, of course, a very handy player to have. Chisholm scoring the try early, giving the English the momentum. Owen Farrell unable to convert. And we saw the next try being scored by Nigel Wong. He got one in the 22nd as well as the 29th minute. The cross-kick try was absolutely brilliant work from Danny Tawala. Although Nigel Wong almost running dead, they had to check it upstairs. And that is a sentence that we used a lot on the commentary. Going to the TMO, even at times when the TMO wasn't called upon, he was still jumping in, making sure his opinion was heard. So Nigel Wong getting the 2 tries, almost had a hat-trick, but did get forced into touch just before putting the ball down. Then there was the last minute try from Danny Kerr in the later stages. That was when the Samoans were playing with 14 men on the field. And then Danny Kerr sniping around the side of the scrum, scoring the late try for the English. But 18 points to 17. Both kickers not having 100% in this fixture. But one of the crazy moments happened in the second half, and that was with Owen Farrell. He got timed out. He wasn't able to take the kick within the 60 seconds. The conversion did not stand, and this game, it was a pretty long one overall in terms of the amount of decisions that were being made. I know that the most controversial one, of course, was when Samoa scored the try. Now, there was a knock-on from Tamua Manu. That part of it is understandable, but the fact that Andrew Brace, the referee in charge, gave it as a try, and then after the conversion was taken by Lema Sopawanga, that is when the TMO said, hang on, we need to look at that. And then they disallowed it. That is a little bit of where the problem started. Because I can understand disallowing a try if it's not a try. But if you wait until it's been given by the referee and then after they've taken the kick to disallow it, it does not look that great. But overall, there were some big stats throughout this game. Samoa having 452 metres carried, beating the 15 defenders along the way. For the English, they had 404 metres, so just a few less than the Samoans, but they were able to beat 25 defenders. But a stat that sticks out like a sore thumb is the offloading game. 10 offloads from Samoa compared to the 2 of the English. They were keeping that ball alive, and I think that was really helping Samoa find their momentum, because any time that ball went to the breakdown was when we saw England getting in there and almost getting themselves the turnovers. Samoa rectified that by just not allowing that ball into the breakdown. We saw 14 penalties against the Samoans compared to the 9 that we saw against the English. Tackle success relatively similar, 126 tackles made by England and 105 tackles made by the Samoans. There were some individual players who really stepped up in this contest. I have to say Duncan Paiua, he had a very good game at 15. I was thoroughly impressed, definitely because he's been a little bit out of form in a couple of the last matches. It's great to see him start to put that foot forward. Ben Earl, tackling machine, making 15 tackles throughout this game. An absolute workhorse. I have to say, though, for England, going forward, I don't believe they can have George Ford and Owen Farrell in the same back line. I feel like they are a lot better off going with either Ford or Farrell at 10, having Tuolangi and Marchand in the midfield, and then that opens up space on that right wing for if you want to have either Arundel, managed to get himself 5 tries in his last appearance. Also, if you wanted to bring back Elliot Daly, who I believe is still with the squad, he could be an option out on that wing. But I just believe at the moment they can't have Ford and Farrell on the field at the same time, or else that might actually be something that does hurt the English. But when their backline was firing, it was very strong. Like I mentioned, Tuolangi looking very good throughout this game. Ford was consistent at the number 10, but didn't really get the chance to flourish, as it did seem like Farrell was having more of that playmaker role on his outside. And Joe Marchand, I thought, was also pretty strong for this game. But I feel like there are a lot of questions in rugby fans' minds after this game. We've been asking for consistency across this whole Rugby World Cup. We still haven't quite got it, but I hope that for the quarterfinals, we can find that consistency. If the TMO is going to be involved, get them involved early. Don't have it after the try is awarded. And then that will cause a lot less drama and a lot less problems down the line for the Rugby World Cup. But do let me know what you thought of this game. I also don't want this to come across as discrediting what England were able to do throughout this game. They managed to get themselves a big win over the Samoans, fighting back from being at a points deficit at halftime. They were 14 points to 8 down, but still managed to come back enough to get themselves that 18 points to 7 win. They'll look at this game and go, what could we have done better? Samoa left their World Cup, I believe, on a high with the effort that they put in. A lot better performance than we saw up against Argentina and Japan. But the English side, they're still undefeated as they make their way on to face either Australia or Fiji in the Rugby World Cup quarterfinals. But like I said, massive congratulations to England for getting out of their group stage with 4 wins from 4. I look forward to seeing what they do next in the competition. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.